Folks, it's Tuesday for a change. We're doing some Martial Powers Tuesdays today. We're going to be doing some exploit and maneuver reviews and audits. So give me a second here to check my signal, go through the spiel, and then we'll dive into this for a couple hours. Actually, probably for an hour or so. We'll see. Hold on real quick. Checking. Probably for an hour or so. We'll see. Sounds good there. If you follow me on Twitter, I've just posted that I'm live on Twitter, so you can always find out what's going on with me on Twitter at Phil Kearney. Just need another moment here for me to boost my signal across the Discords, and then we'll be diving into this. So in the meantime, who am I? Hey, my name's Phil. I create RPG supplements. Right now I've been building 5th edition material for Dungeons & Dragons. There is a link down below to a slew of books that I've already published on the DMsGuild. You are certainly welcome to check out all of that work. It is all 100% free preview. You can read anything that I've made down there, 100% cover to cover. Check it out. If you like it, please consider making a purchase. If not, certainly be welcome to just to thumb through the documents. There's about 150 some odd different illustrations across those bodies of work that are linked. So you're most certainly invited to check that stuff out if it's interesting to you. And we are almost done with boosting our signal. So this is what you have on screen here is the Color Mana Spell Point variant rules that I've produced that are complementary, though independent, from the Martial Powers project that we are looking at today. One more moment for me to make sure I've got everything locked in. Okay, great. It looks like everything's good. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, help me out. And let's get into some... I'm going to reopen that just to give myself some queuing. Great. Here we are in the Martial Powers project. You can actually... There's actually content review for this on my Patreon. You can link through. It's a read-only document. It's still very rough language. I have yet to hire an editor to help me make this stuff read like 5e. So when the final product comes out, we will also post this on DMsGuild. It'll be 100% preview as well. And of course, this isn't the actual text that goes into the document. So I always want to respect, once we finalize language with an editor, we always withdraw the project and go through the page layout process. You can check out the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration playlist that we have on this channel to see me beginning the layout project for that book. And you can check almost any of the other playlists I have in here to see me producing cover art, map assets, and internal art for any of the books that you'll see. And once they're published, you'll see them 100%. You'll be able to correlate what you see on streams to what actually shows up in the print. And so let's get into this, right? So what are we at? We're like episode, holy Hannah, where are we at? Hold on. Which episode is this anyway? Wow, episode 50. So we've been streaming this thing for a year now. And we're slow cooking it because we have the Eberron Adventure and the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration Supplement. About 200 pages worth of content that we've been hard pushing to get punched out. But this Martial Powers project is our reward for those hard efforts. So once those books published, Martial Powers will become our primary project. By then, we should... this very slow cooking process is great for two reasons. One, I've got a playtesting team, my home table, that we run 1 to 20 level campaigns in roughly about 250, 300 hours. We're level 17 right now. We've our Ranger and our Rogue have been playtesting this stuff since level 10 for months now. And it's all coming along very nicely. We keep switching out powers and upgrading them and making revisions as we go along. So I'm really happy with how the document sits right now. And there are 40 some odd episodes prior to this one, basically walking you through the mechanics of what martial powers are, how the multi-classing works together, the limitations of power, how we can curve into this inspiration, superiority die sort of mechanic to be able to implement all sorts of different exploits, maneuvers, reactions, strikes, and sustained powers. So we've got the subclasses for the Barbarian, the Fighter, and the Rogue. We have some redefined abilities to lean into what Martial Powers provides for you, as well as notation on how all subclasses are modified from anything created by Wizards of the Coast for the monk, as well as modifying Smite for the paladin, and how things like Hunter's Mark and specific fighting styles for Rangers are modified, on top of, again, all the different subclasses that we have and how they can make use of martial powers as well. Then, of course, we've got the variant rules for Warlocks, using invocations to learn martial powers if you want to really lean into the Hex Blade fantasy. Artificers are able to choose infusions so that they can create items that wield power, so that they're still mostly using their spell casting mechanics, but can eat up some of their magic item efficiency to be able to dip into this martial space as well. Then we have multi-classing, channeling, and spell casting together, how these systems work together for hybrids like paladins, rangers, and what I consider martial half-casters, monks, as well as like Eldritch Knight, Arcane Trickster, Artificer, Warlock, as well as traditional multi-classing, like if you wanted to go like, say, Rogue, Cleric, or Paladin, Sorcerer, or something. It all curves together. That's a really good use of the color mana spell point variant rules, specifically the universal spell points in High Magic, which is like a universal spell point, kind of like how spell slots are just generic spell slots, or how key is just key. You spend it on anything that you can, right? The color mechanics that we have here are specifically creating a magic paradigm, which we've spent previous sessions discussing here in the Martial Powers book. But this whole set, it's about 60 sales away from going gold, this whole stack. So if you can check out the link down below, if you think that the color mana system is interesting, or the generic universal spell points is interesting. Again, it's all there, 100% free to use. I am currently at level 17 in the second campaign that I've ran using color mana from level 1 to 20. I love it. I mean, as a DM, I create tools and publish them on the DMsGuild of stuff that I want my players to have access to, so that they can more accurately and fluidly create the power fantasy or the action loop sequences that they want for their characters. Whether you're a high optimizer, or if you really lean into the narrative and you like taking weird dips to manifest that narrative approach. I need to set a timer on my clock here for 20 minutes on the board so that I can make sure I bounce out of here in a timely manner. I got a lot on my plate today. I'm really happy to spend some time here. So multi-classing and channeling, it works great with color mana, works great with universal spell points. It's the exact same spell point costs per level, or in this case, per rank of powers. We have all the mechanics here for how powers work, the different disciplines of power between exploits, maneuvers, reactions, strikes, and sustained powers. The mechanics about how you can target things, duplicating effects. I mean, you can read the playtest content just as easily as I can read it to you right now. You're most welcome to dip through my Patreon. You don't have to purchase to review the content, but be aware it is read only. This is not a free to use document. It'll be 100% free preview on DMsGuild once it's published. Certainly appreciate your support if you are willing to throw some coin my way. But honestly, the best way you can help me right now is subscribing and helping me log more hours. I've got about 140 people that are subscribed. I need 1,000 to get monetized. I've got just over 1,000 hours of viewed content. I need 4,000 also to get monetized. If I can get monetized on YouTube, that goes a long way towards me being able to have more time on stream doing more artwork, cartography, page layouts, interior design work. Loving the process. So thanks for anybody that's interested. And so we're going to carry on. What we're doing today, now that all the to-dos are done, we are looking at the various exploits that we've created. We're looking at the various maneuvers that we have created. And we are looking at them in comparison to reactions and sustained powers. There's like it shows up here, there's about 140 different powers that we have listed in this book currently. And I believe we've done a pretty good job cleansing the document of any obvious redundancies. But having said that, we may have missed some stuff, and language continues to evolve as we look at more aspects of the game, and interesting mechanics come up that need resolution that we can do just through better description of what the mechanics do. So we're just going to just run through the document today. So if anything pops up, or if you got any questions about anything and you're live here on stream with me, be welcome to drop down in the chat here and say hey, ask anything that you want. If you're catching this in the future after the stream is ended, be welcome to drop a comment. I would love to have the participation. You can build, like our Ranger and Rogue are just about level 18 now in my own game. You can build a character at any level you want, apply these powers, see how it plays out for you. Statistically, everything is within curve of what current classes are capable of doing. It can't outperform into Bardic Inspiration. It doesn't out-hit Smites. It's all statistically and numerically within curve of what Battle Masters, Paladins, Bards, Warlocks, Sorcerers can already do. All we're doing is just taking ideas that exist in 5e and recalibrating them to use a generic mana system to pay for making use of those options as a resource, as a universal resource mechanic, so that all 13 classes in the game can use the same mana mechanic to execute class features, so that we can do things like create an avatar campaign where the magic paradigm that you use is the 4 elements. So you could be a master of one, or you can have, if you're the only one playing one in the game, then you could be the avatar. If you're using any of the Magic the Gathering settings that have either already been published by Wizards, exist on DMsGuild as plane shift documents, or if you're diving into new content that hasn't had any plane shift documentation created, you can use Color Magic Paradigm to represent your Strixhaven schools, your Gods of Theros, your guilds in Ravnica, your New Capenna families, the Mirrodins, anything that you want to dive into. We can certainly help you accommodate, as well as Kaladesh stuff. Find me online if you want, either through Twitter, or if you know where I'm at on Discord, you're welcome to fire up a conversation with me about representing Magic the Gathering inside of D&D using color mana systems. That is the real punch for all this system. It can be done with just generic mana, spell points like presented in a DMG, but once you start applying magic paradigms to your system to add a ton of flavor to what your character is with the lore that you're borrowing that magic paradigm from, it makes a much deeper, enriching character experience for anyone that you have at your table. And again, all my tools are designed from a DM perspective for players to be using at your table. The books that we provide are offering means for you as a DM to look at what these things do and how you can incorporate them into your campaign so that you can feel comfortable about introducing homebrew. If you've never used homebrew in your game before, a 100% free preview document that is incredibly thorough and looking at combat, spellcasting, action economy mechanics to make you comfortable with what you can expect from a good product. I hope that this can help set the bench for you on levels of quality, that this would be hopefully the minimum quality that you could accept in looking at other publishers, whether they're professionals that put books on bookshelves or Kickstarters or just somebody on Reddit. You want to look for this level or better detail in how they're thinking through ideas. If they aren't putting 2 and 2 together like this, if they aren't answering those really weird, rough caveats, then you should either be asking them what are their thoughts about that stuff, or maybe look for similar concepts from a different source. So hey, hoping to set the bench for anybody out there that's new to the homebrew scene. This whole channel is about building homebrew and really holding designers to the fire on making sure that they're building thorough documents that are built not just for sale but for use. So that's probably enough of me harping on stuff. I am opening up another document here so we can switch down to the sustained page where we looked at sustained. I'm just going to grab this and pull power gear, random gear generators. Power gears like magic items, but they're powers, not magic, not spells. So I call them power gear instead of magic items. I could change that, but that's how it sits currently. We have samples of equipment. The DM section here, we're looking at how to limit access to power with class discipline, different magic paradigm system usage. Then we go into creatures. As a DM facing document, all these powers can be used by creatures. Here's a sample of different creatures at different CRs and thus access to different ranks that you can see using powers to use against your team, which is the best way to use powers. And then let's see. Oh, that's past where I need to be. So let's go back up into sustain. There we go. Sustained powers versus the exploits. So exploits, maneuvers, and sustained powers have some overlaps. So I'm wanting to see if I can suss out, find any duplications here that I may have missed otherwise. We're basically auditing my own work and trimming through stuff. So certainly be welcome to ask about anything that you see if it's of interest to you. I'm happy to just pontificate on anything. But if you've been around my streams for a while, you know I like to run my mouth. So cheers. So let's see, where are we at? First level exploits, takes 1 mana to pop these things. Exploits generally modify something else that you're doing, either a die roll, movement, reactions, attacks. It's something that you can throw as an instant effect. You can throw mana at it to give yourself a modifier. Typically your power die is going to be added to whatever d20 you're rolling, or throwing that mana at a movement or an action you're taking is going to let you get more mileage or economy out of whatever it is that you're performing. So let's see. Adept Craftsman, when making an ability check that can use tools you're proficient with, roll 1 power die per mana channeled, adding the highest roll to your result. So let's go to power. That's a first rank exploit, which is an instant one-time use. It's almost like a reaction, but it doesn't cost any reactions to do it. It's just, if you're going to make a die roll, and in this instance, it's using an ability check that can use a tool you're proficient with, then you can pop mana, spend the mana, and you get bonuses to your die roll. There you go. When rolling multiple dice, take best result, not cumulative. Let's look at reactions real quick. I know that maneuvers don't have anything that modify ability check rolls like that. So control fall, exposure, deflection, downtrodden, evasive footwork, great fortitude, interpose, iron will. I'm going to throw open a document. Add to ability, skill check, reaction. As a reaction to when you fail an ability check or saving throw, roll 1 power die per mana. All right, that is a great point. Let's go to our exploits. Let's see how exploits are defined. Exploit powers currently are defined as instant effects that are channeled when specific circumstances occur. You can use as many exploits simultaneously up to your max channel limit if circumstances apply and there's enough mana to channel them. When you use an exploit to add a power die to the result of a d20 ability check, attack, or save, you can roll 1 power die for each mana spent, adding the highest power die result to the d20 roll and discard the remaining power dice results. Let's see. Power die. Each mana spent. After rolling, but before you know, but before determining if the result succeeds. There. So we just shut down the need for meticulous effort. While we're at it, so we see meticulous effort affects both ability scores saves. So exploits affect ability checks, and there's a lot of exploits to affect an ability check. So meticulous effort eradicates or replaces and is more optimal than any of these exploits, because these exploits are hyper-focused into a specific category, while reaction is literally for anything. So right now what we're looking for are exploits that modify saving throws. And let us see if there is. And if there are, then we can simply eliminate meticulous effort as a reaction to taking it out of the game, because all these exploits become non-reactions that you can use. So let's see. Aquatic adaptation, sustained. Oh, these are sustained. Let's go to our pool of exploits. Looking for saving throw stuff. Overrun, natural hunter, resilient. When you make a saving throw, you can add 1 power die per mana channel, adding the highest result to your, adding the highest roll to your result. So, resilient. Yep, it exists there. So now we get rid of meticulous effort. Dímela. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Does cost 2. That is expensive, but it's a duplicate. So yeah, we gotta get rid of it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeesh. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Is there something? Okay, let's look for other reactions real quick to see what else exists in here. Attack roll is rerolled. As a reaction to the source when you were hit. Action you were missed by an attack roll. As a reaction to failing a save, re-roll the d20 and take the better result. That costs 1. So we have reaction. Saves re-roll. I'm good with that. Iron Will, Great Fortitude, and where is it? Show me. Great Fortitude, Iron Will, Lightning Reflexes. Thank you. Yeah, right there. As a reaction to failing a Dexterity or Intelligence saving throw, re-roll the d20 and take the better result. Is there anything else? One's own luck. As a reaction to rolling 1 or more power dice, you can re-roll any number of dice and take the higher result. That is expensive, but super cool. And again, you can take a feat to buy down the cost of any power down to the cost of 1. So if you like one's own luck, you can buy it down to only 1 point. As a reaction to when a creature you can see within 30 feet makes an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, you can curse them to roll again. And if 1D&D sticks as is, when we update this for 1D&D, all we have to do is change that to when makes what is it, a die check. I don't remember what the term is. We'll figure it out. You curse them to roll again. They use the lower result, and you can use the higher die result instead of rolling for one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. This benefit is lost if the result isn't used by the end of your next turn. This is like better Silvery Barbs. It's second level, so it's the cost of a second level spell, which is where Silvery Barbs should have been. And it doesn't just grant a blanket advantage roll and disadvantage your enemy, advantage your ally, and anybody can benefit from it. It is specifically you're stealing your target's advantage roll. Like, okay, so when you roll 2 dice, it's either advantage or disadvantage. If you're rolling 2 dice, it is not just a straight roll. It is going to be either advantage or disadvantage. You actually see some of these mechanics at play in the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book that we've been creating regarding spotting things and tracking. Interesting mechanics. I'll point it out to you when we get to that in the layout section. But when you roll 2 dice, there is no just neutral response. There's always going to be a better die roll and a worse die roll. So disadvantage is when you have the worst die roll. Advantage is when you have the better die roll. So when you force somebody to have 2 dice, in this circumstance, we are taking the better result and leaving them with the worst result. And then we are using that better result if we like that result on any kind of die roll that we have. So let's see how you can curse them. They use the lower result, and you can use the higher die result instead of rolling they use the lower result, and you can use the higher die result to replace the result of there we go. So as a reaction to when a creature you can see within 30 feet makes an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, you can curse them to roll again. They use the lower D20 result. I'm going to spell this shit out a lot. Hey there, that's my timer for 20 minutes. Let's keep it going. They use the lower D20 result, and you can use the higher die result to replace the result of rolling a D20 for one ability check. To replace the result after rolling a d20 for one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. This benefit is lost if the result isn't used by the end of the turn. Okay, great. So that's 2 points. It's going to stick somebody with disadvantage, and then you have a floating number that if until the end of your next turn, whenever you throw a d20 to try to trigger some sort of a dice challenge, then if the result that you get from that die roll, you can instead swap it out for the result that you have. You can curse them to roll again after rolling a 20. But before you know But before determining success, result for one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, this benefit is lost if the result isn't used by the end of your turn. Okay. Countering attack, defense barrier, right of revival. Cheat death. As a reaction to becoming incapacitated or dying, you can use an action before this condition affects you. Doing so incapacitates you next turn if you are alive. Action to becoming incapacitated or dying. You can use an action before this condition affects you. As a reaction to becoming incapacitated or dying, you can use an action before this condition affects you. One failed death save. Next turn if you are alive. Sorry, gotta check my phone real quick because I'm getting beduked. One, two. Okay, so we now have 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Is there a way for me to shift? I always like to have more options at lower ranks. And with us eliminating meticulous effort, we now have as many ranks, we have as many reactions at second rank as we do at third rank, which is now triggering me to either escalate a first rank to become second rank or third rank to become second rank. But I want one more second rank that either pulls from third or from first. So we're going to do some chew. Let's see if there's something in here that I can either rebalance or decide needs nerfing for me to drop it down. So right off the cuff, countering attack. It's effectively an attack roll as counter spell, so I'm not going to change that. Third level, third rank, counter spell. It's staying put. Anchor, as a reaction to a creature attempting to move, teleport, or shift planes, it takes 1 power die of damage per mana burned and must succeed a charisma as a reaction. These are reactions. Thank you. As a reaction to when an enemy within range of your melee weapon attack casts a spell, makes an attack. Now it's counterspell. Anchor. As a reaction to a creature attempting to move, teleport, or shift planes, it takes 1 power die of damage per mana burned and must succeed a charisma saving throw against your channeling DC, or it can't move, teleport, or shift planes until the beginning of its next turn. Third rank kicks in at 9th level. Fourth rank kicks in at 13th level. There are no 5th rank powers. But you can channel up to 5 ranks worth of power at 17th level. It's just the powers themselves cap at 13th. So you could actually access your maximum power in a campaign like Descent into Avernus, which only goes from 5th to 15th level. That way you can actually access the full gamut of what your character is supposed to be able to do using these martial powers, and you don't have to worry about getting bound up by, 4th tier that you'll never see Wizard of the Coast provide anything for since Mad Mage. So I think I'm okay with Anchor sitting where it's at. I could potentially see it dropping down. Let's leave it be. Defense barrier. As a reaction to a source you can see targeting you with an attack, you create a momentary translucent barrier, granting you full cover against the attack, causing the attack to automatically miss unless it ignores cover. Period. The barrier. As a reaction to when you drop to 0 hit points but don't die outright, you instead drop to 1 hit point. Yeah, that's coming from the Blood Hunter. And it kicking at 9th level feels pretty much like the kind of stuff that you should be able to do mid-game. It's expensive as a reaction. 3 mana is no laughing matter. But it keeps you from dead, so I can't complain there. You know what? I hadn't considered the alternative. As a reaction, oh, let's do this instead. Let's just be cheeky. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of cheat death because it's pissing me off. Let's do this instead. As a reaction to when you drop to 0 hit points but don't die outright. See, as a reaction to when you drop to 0 hit points but don't die outright, roll a number of power dice equal to the mana burned, gaining that many HP instead. As a reaction to when you drop to 0 hit points but don't die outright, you remain conscious and roll a number of power dice equal to the mana burned, gaining that many hit points. Instead, basically, you're self-casting boosted revivify, essentially. Well, you're not actually dead, so yeah. I think for 13th level power, I think I'm pretty good with that. It's going to be 4 dice minimum, and it's going to be on a D8 at 13th level or a D10. I mean, hit point instead up to your maximum HP total. Probably need some work on the language, but I think that's pretty damn good. That's actually really damn good. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Curve completed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Cool. So that should bring us down to 20. 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There we go. 20. Character only gets 16 powers over the course of their career, so you can literally spend all of your powers just on reactions if you wanted to, from level 1 to 20. You know what? I kind of want to do this instead. but not like that. There. I am very happy with that. What's next? Okay, so we've resolved dice mods. What's intervene, deflection. Once on luck, as a reaction to rolling one or more power dice, you can re-roll any number of dice, take the higher results. And take the higher result. Huh. My brain is grinding on Great Fortitude, Iron Will, and Lightning Reflexes. They're first rank, they only cost 1 to trigger a reroll. Reroll the d20 and take the better result. Let's do a word search for. Let's go with synonym for reconsider. Rethink, review, revise, reassess, reappraise, think better of, think over. Synonym for opt. Choose, select, pick out, go for, take. All right, let's define opt. That's a magic card I like. Yeah, let's do that. Three, two. Opt. take the higher result. That is much better than meticulous effort. I am now very happy, and I got to steal an MTG card option, so I am very happy with that. Let's go back down into here. So that takes us back to 21. Not gonna lie, I'm happy with that. As a reaction to falling, you can land on your feet. Curse of exposure as a reaction to an enemy within 30 feet taking damage. If the creature is resistant to the damage, it can't benefit from resistances. Resistance to the damage rolled. And alternatively, if it is immune to the damage, it is instead only resistant. That's pretty good. Downtrodden, evasive footwork. As a reaction to when you are hit by an attack roll from a source you can see, you gain +5 bonus armor class that remains in effect until the beginning of your next turn, including against the triggering attack, potentially turning the hit into a miss. Evasive footwork is basically shield without the magic missile kicker. Feint, as a reaction to when you miss an attack roll, you can roll again, potentially turning the miss into a hit. I think I'm pretty happy with this stack here. Okay, great. So I'm happy with those. Let's check the rest of our exploits to see if there is anything in here that is manipulating dice advantages. Shunt. Tactics. I love all this crap. Theurgy. Oh, these are maneuvers. Right. I was going to say, geez, oh. Yeah, these are maneuvers. Excuse me. Unstoppable, assassinate. When you deal damage with a weapon attack to a target that has yet to act in combat or is unaware of your attack, you automatically deal maximum damage, including any additional dice, such as sneak attack or when channeling a strike power. To me, this is a better assassinate power. It doesn't mess around with criticals or anything like that, that all the normal applications apply, but the weapon attack, when you deal damage, you know what? I feel like hypertunistic is actually an exploit, not a maneuver. Oh, it is an exploit. Well, aren't I smart? Excuse me. Let's see. Focus when you make an ability check that can use the intimidation. Okay, yeah, that's just intimidation manipulation. Tactical assessment, dice, ability check manipulation, swift tools, action economy, sage knowledge, ability check manipulation, resilient saving throw manipulation, ability check manipulation, ability check manipulation, ability check manipulation, ability check, ability check, ability check, ability check, ability check, ability check. When your reach increases by 5 feet. Additionally, you can roll 1 power die per mana channeled, adding the highest roll to the attack. Nice. Charge. Okay. Ambush. Make an ability check to use stealth or when rolling initiative. I love that. Roll 1 power die per mana channeled, adding the highest roll to your result. I love that. When making an ability check. Yep. Okay. Great. So exploits are resolved. I'm going to go now down into sustained powers. Where are we at? 51. How long have we been? 50 minutes? Okay, we still got 10 minutes left. We can do this. I'm going to strum down to sustained powers to see what redundancies may exist between exploits, reactions, and sustains. So aquatic adaptation is breathe underwater, gain swim speed, awareness, blind things, climb speed, crouching stance. Dire impact, sustain its power, weapon attacks are magic, and you can add your proficiency bonus to weapon attack rolls. Elemental resistance, when you channel this power, you choose one damage type. Fast equals sustain this power, your walking speed increases by your proficiency bonus, modified by 10. Inspired skill, when sustaining this power, you gain proficiency in a skill or tool of your choice. You can channel this power more than once simultaneously, choosing a different skill or tool with each channeling. I'm cool with that. Lycanthropy is freaking cool. Omnilinguist. In sustaining this power, you can communicate with and be understood by any creature with a spoken language. Power armor, power shield, those things are cool. Ranged assault, that's awesome. Rogue stance, that's also useful for people that don't have it. Swift assessment, you can add your proficiency bonus when making an ability check that can use perception or insight skill if you are already proficient with either skill. You instead add the bonus twice as though you have expertise in these skills. In addition, you can make wisdom and intelligence, perception and insight checks once during each of your turns as a bonus action. Including a turn you channel its power. Trap Springer, while you power the sustain, gain advantage on any intelligence and wisdom perception checks to know its traps. You automatically swift assessment, perception and insight. Add prof mod, and this is gain advantage on investigation and perception. You automatically understand the general nature of any traps revealed this way, and you gain advantage on any intelligence, investigation, or dexterity checks using tools you're proficient with to disarm traps. I'm good with that. Astute. While sustaining this power, you gain advantage on intelligence and wisdom checks. That is a sustained power. I think I'm okay with that. Let's compare that. Advantage, right. Astute. Quick. And sturdy. Advantage as opposed to rerolls. Yeah, okay, that's good. Cloud Strider. Punishing Aura. While this power is sustained and you are not restrained, stunned, or paralyzed, any creature you see that begins its turn or enters within 10 feet of you takes weapon damage equal to your proficiency bonus. While this power is sustained and you are not restrained, now we're going to change that. We're going to change that punishing aura to deadly presence. I think that's a more accurate. Ooh, 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 ooh. Deadly presence sounds a little too dramatic. Presence isn't the right word. Okay, let's hit our thesaurus here real quick. Synonym opportunist. Carpetbagger. Ingrate. Or of ingratiation. Ingrating stance. Oh, that's horrible. Fine, let's use opportunist. Opportunistic. Deft. Nah. I like it. KG. Yeah, we'll go with Deadly Presence for now. I might end up making that a psychic damage thing. We'll see. While this power is sustained and you are not restrained, stunned, or paralyzed, any creature you can see that begins its turn or enters within 10 feet of you takes weapon damage equal. Moves within 10 feet of you. Alright, so let's see. Close quarter combat, Cloud Strider, Mind Sense, no. Opportunist, no. Quick, no. Generation. Sturdy, unnatural resistance, weapon resistance, daunting presence, flurry attack, giant growth, haste, ghost walker, frenzy. Yeah, it's already a spell name. I don't know. I like the idea of haste. We'll figure it out. So let's put a comment on it, which is Ghostwalker, Frenzy, Master of Fate. Okay, it doesn't look like we have any redundancies here. That is freaking great news. We have really improved the document so far. That was worthwhile effort. I am very, very pleased. So, and we're just at an hour. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it here. So that's our scoop for the day. I'm really happy with how we're sitting. We're typically doing this on Mondays. So like, subscribe, hit the bell. And be welcome to follow me on Twitter at Phil Kearney if you want to keep aware of when Martial Powers fires up again next week on Monday. We're going to be back again tomorrow morning for our morning coffee art stream, which is going to be in 16 hours. 16 hours from now, we will be back doing more ship token art for the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration project. Yeah, so be welcome to drop comments down below if there's any kind of build that you want to see, or if you want to see, like, if you wanted to, like for example, a couple weeks ago, a friend to the channel, Tyler came on and was asking about a Ranger Skirmisher build. So we built a Skirmisher. If you have any type of like subclass remix, or if you have a play style that you're interested that you want to see us duplicate, you are welcome to drop comments down below or reach out to me on Twitter or through Discord if you know where I'm at, to say, hey, I want to take a look at what this is like next time. Because right now, all we're doing is just playing with math, looking at how things are worded, ironing out some of the wrinkles, and then once Spelljammer and Eberron get out of the way, we're slowly digging our way through the DM section. And once all that's locked down and we get these other projects off our plate, we're gonna have that come back from this come back from our editor with proper WotC natural language. And this document will no longer be relevant because the language will have all changed. It will drop into page layouts. If you want to check the elemental key playlist, you'll see me taking the elemental key document and peeling out pages from the layout, dropping them into Photoshop, and then painting directly on the page. I mean, I love doing this stuff. So hopefully this stuff is cool to you guys. Be welcome to engage me, and I look forward to hearing from you. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Thanks a lot.